Science Journal for Kids and Teens presents, What was the impact of a delayed second COVID-19 vaccine? Adapted from the original peer-reviewed paper in the journal The Lancet Public Health, published on June 13, 2021. Research conducted by Natsuko Amai, Thomas Rawson, Anne Corey, and others from the MRC Center for Global Infectious Disease Analysis at Imperial College London. See the full list of authors and their affiliations in the accompanying PDF. Read by Miranda Wilson. Abstract. Do you remember the first days of the COVID-19 pandemic? It got quite scary at times. There were many unknowns, and governments had to make hard decisions. At first, there were lockdowns. Then, less than a year later, scientists developed vaccines. The UK was the first country to start national vaccination. A full vaccination course required 2 doses for each person, but some evidence suggested that even 1 dose could provide decent protection for some time. So the UK government decided to delay the second dose and have more people receive the first dose as fast as possible. What was the impact of this decision? We used a mathematical model to find out. It turned out that delaying the second dose prevented around 58,000 hospitalizations. It saved more than 10,000 lives. Introduction. COVID-19 is still around us, but in many countries, the situation is calmer than before. There are hardly any restrictions. Remember staying at home all the time? It wasn't fun, right? Do you know why it's different now? It's because of the many strategies that countries put into action. One of the most important strategies was mass vaccination. The more people are vaccinated, the fewer will get seriously ill. In the UK at the beginning, medics gave the second dose of the vaccine 3 weeks after the first one. This was the recommendation from the experts based on the clinical trials. But there were not enough vaccines yet, and new, more dangerous variants of the virus were emerging. This posed a new dilemma. Should more people get at least the first dose, or should fewer people get both doses? There was evidence that even just the first dose provided around 80% protection against getting really ill. Moreover, this protection lasted for about 3 months. So, some experts recommended delaying when people received their second dose of the vaccine from 3 weeks to 12 weeks. The UK government agreed. Everyone hoped that having more people with at least some immunity would save more lives. Many people criticized this decision, but what do the numbers say? What was the impact of this decision? This is what we wanted to find out now. People wait in line to enter a vaccination center to receive the coronavirus vaccine amid the outbreak of the coronavirus disease, or COVID-19, in London, Britain, January 22, 2021. You can see people standing in line behind a barrier. Everyone is wearing masks. Methods. We assessed the impact of vaccination in England between December 2020 and September 2021. That is, from the beginning of national vaccination until there were enough first and second doses for everyone. First, we collected some data, or information. The number of hospitalizations and deaths from COVID-19 per day, the daily number of positive COVID-19 tests, the number of first and second vaccine doses given each day, the age of the vaccinated, which COVID-19 variants were present, and the antibody status of the population. These data from real life were the result of a, quote, delayed strategy. In reality, the second dose came 12 weeks, instead of 3 weeks, after the first. We wanted to compare them to what could have happened if we had stuck to the shorter 3 weeks between doses. That would be the, quote, non-delayed strategy. We used a mathematical model to figure out what could have happened differently. The model took into account all of the measured data as well as the vaccine's effectiveness against the different variants, and the waning of the protection after each dose in the non-delayed strategy. Results. During the analyzed period, there were 233,000 hospitalizations. Almost 55,000 people died of COVID-19. These are the real-life numbers during the delayed strategy. Our model estimated outcomes for the non-delayed strategy. It showed that without the delay, there would have been 291,000 hospitalizations, and almost 65,000 people would have died. Figure 1 shows the cumulative daily hospitalizations in England. The orange shows the actual data with the delayed strategy. The purple shows the modeled data for the non-delayed strategy. In the graph, you can see the cumulative hospitalizations in thousands of people on the y-axis, and the time in months on the x-axis. Looking at the graph, with which strategy were there more hospitalizations? What could explain that? Discussion. It is hard to make decisions during an emergency, especially when people's lives are at stake. So, it's important to consider every piece of evidence. Our results show that the decision to delay has likely saved more than 10,000 lives. It also prevented tens of thousands of people from being admitted to the hospital. But why? One reason is that in the non-delayed strategy, there would have been fewer vaccinated people in the first months, so more people could have gotten seriously ill. Another reason is that the earlier you receive the second dose, the earlier the protection starts to wane. So, delaying the second dose delayed the waning as well. This was very important. When the more severe Delta variant came along in the summer of 2021, more people were still immune. Thus, the delayed second dose saved more lives. Conclusion. Mathematical models are a powerful tool. We used ours to see what could have happened and to assess the impact of delaying the second dose of the vaccine. But we could also use it to help with decisions in future situations. And we will have to because COVID-19 is still around us. In the meantime, you can help by protecting yourself and others around you from COVID-19 and other diseases. How? Get all your routine vaccines. Avoid seeing people if you are feeling sick. Wear a face mask in crowded, stuffy areas, and wash your hands often. Thank you for listening to this recording. Visit our website, sciencejournalforkids.org, for more free science teaching resources.